Hello, everyone. Uh, this is a lesson on basic pronoun usage in the Bohairic dialect of Coptic. Okay, so some quick definitions just to go over like what we need to know before we start. But we got two different pronouns that we're gonna be covering today, like two different groups, right? We have the personal pronouns, which are pronouns that replace a subject, right? So like it's gonna be like me, my stuff. No, sorry. It's gonna be like I, you, he, she, stuff like that. Right. And then the second type is possessive pronouns, and that's gonna be my, your, his, her, stuff like that. Okay, so first personal pronouns, right? And we gotta go over like how to use this. Right. So on the side here we have like in what perspective we're using this pronoun. And on top here, we have what is the, I don't know, I guess like the identity of the thing that we're replacing, right? So here we have first person masculine would mean if I were to say like I, right? Anok is I. And then here, plural, anon is we, right? So first person, that's whenever the speaker is included, right? So masculine, anok, that's I. Same feminine and masculine for first person are the same. It's just plural that you got to remember. Got to put an A at the end instead of kappa. Second person, right? This one, it's inthulk, inthul, and inthultin. Now, the issue here is that whenever you have like an uppercase letter here on the computer, it doesn't show the Jenkim at the top. And Jenkim, that's like whenever you lead into the letter with like at, like an at sound before. So, inthulk, inthul, inthulton, right? Here, masculine, second person. This is used for you when you're talking to a guy, right? So if I were talking to a guy, I would say you in thulk, right? If I were talking to a girl, it would be you in thul. And if I were talking to an entire group of people, I would say you in thulten. Okay? And then here, third person, third final one, right? For masculine, that would be he. So in thulf. Here in thos, and here in thou. Nope, about that. There we go. So for masculine third person, that's talking he, which would be in thulf. For feminine third person, this is like she. This is in thos. And for plural third person, this is they in thou. So then possessive pronouns, right? Here, this is a bit, it looks a bit more complicated, but believe me, it'll look a whole lot more complicated if I just had the entire thing, right? So here, I have it split up just for simplicity. Whenever you're using a possessive pronoun, right, you can think of it as a word that has two separate parts, right? So this determines what the pronoun begins with, right? And this letter dictates, like it gives you information about the possession that you are talking about. So if the possession is masculine, starts with P. If it's feminine, starts with dov. If it's plural, starts with ne. Right? Just, super simple. It's like the articles that we covered, right? Masculine's P, feminine's dov, plural's ne, right? Pretty easy so far. Then the second part that you have to know about possessive pronouns, it's going to end with like letters or a letter that's talking about the identity of the possessor, who owns it. right? Who's in possession of this thing? And so here you would read this just like you read the previous table, right? So you have first person masculine, right? So if I'm talking about a masculine object and then I want to say it's mine, right? I would say ba, right? Because I have P and I have alpha. So then you would put it together, ba. And then plural, this is the one that changes, right? And that would be our, right? So then it's still talking about a masculine thing. Instead of ba, like for masculine and feminine, which would be bin, right? Easy enough. And then here, ik, for second person masculine, you're talking to a guy. So when you're talking to a guy, this would be your, right? And so something that I see lots of people get wrong is like whenever you're talking about a feminine word, people will see that begins with tav and automatically assume that you're talking to a woman, but that's not actually the case. Because keep in mind, this is talking about the possession, not the possessor. So here, so it is very, very common, or not like very common, but like it's a common thing to see tav and then ek. And so then you would know, okay, so we're saying you're to a guy and he owns this feminine thing, right? And then here, same with feminine, I've seen the same problem, but just reversed, right? It'll start with P, it'll end with E, and then you'll say like automatically, oh, I'm talking to a guy, but that's not necessarily the case, because here you got to keep in mind how the ending is, not how this is. This talks about possession, this talks about possessor, right? So how I like to think about it is like whenever you have like a feminine like thing, for second person at least, it's going to like not have an extra letter, you know? Like here for masculine second person, it's going to have kappa. For plural second person, it's going to end with 10, right? And I mean, even if you go back here, right, you have inthul, 10, inthulk, inthul, right? So then you look at it and it's like, oh, wow, there's no extra stuff. Third person, this is his. Third person feminine, this is her. Yeah, her. Then third person plural, this is their. Right, so for some examples, right? So, ba, right, we're gonna like keep in mind the table that I had on the previous slide. Ba, you have a masculine like possession, right? And it's first person, right? First person, masculine or feminine, we don't know because alpha is used for both masculine and feminine for first person. So it's my, talking about a masculine thing. The second one, right? You have insult. Now, where this isn't a possessive pronoun, this is a personal pronoun. So in full, we're going to keep in mind like the no extra letters kind of thing. And so in full, the second person feminine, right? There it is. You feminine. Like you're talking to a woman. Dayton, this is keeping in mind another possessive pronoun. This is you're talking to a group of people and it's talking about a feminine thing because we have Tav here and we have Eitan at the end. So Eitan is showing that we're talking to a group of people. So it's second person. And Tav is showing that we're talking about a feminine thing. So here it is, your plural. No, this is something that we'll see on the next slide as well. No is a personal pronoun. No, sorry, not a personal pronoun. It's a possessive pronoun. And here we see nay, right? So nay, It's talking, okay, so this is a plural thing that we're talking about, like a plural possession. And then O at the end here, that's saying that we are talking, or like this plural object is owned by a group of people. So we're referencing that group of people in the third person. So this is there. So on this slide, we have hymn of the intercessions, right? Here are two of the verses, I guess. And here we have Iten, me of she, and me, you'll remember this is an article, right? Whereas over here, we have Hiten, no if she. And so the difference becomes through the prayers for me if she, it's the prayers, right? Me is for plural and if she's prayers, so the prayers. Whereas over here, hita no if she, keep in mind that's the only thing that changed, but it changes the meaning. So it's no longer through the prayers, it's through their prayers. Because ne means that you're making the thing that is being possessed plural, right? So if we had bo if she, it would be like a singular like thing. So then it would be through their prayer instead of prayers. So ne means that's a plural thing that you're talking about. And o at the end here means like you're talking about like the possessors are a third person like group. So it's their prayers. And if we'll go back here, right? Kata bifron. Kata means according to. Yeah, but yeah, just disregard that entire tangent. Here, bifron, his name, right? Be, the first ron, is a masculine. If, him, right? So his name, or if his third person masculine. Sorry if I lost you. And then here finally we have nin novi. Ne means like it's I don't know, it's like adjusting this, right? I forget the word for it, but like a lot. So it's adjusting novi. Novi means sin or sins, depending on what it's being adjusted by. Here we have ne, therefore, since it's being adjusted by ne, that means that it's sins, it's plural. And then in, that's first person plural, right? So our sins, right? And here we have our sins. Then over here, we covered Ninnovi as well. But here I do want to point out, here it is. Beniot, here we have in, we'll cover that later. But for now, all you need to know is that this is its own thing, right? So we're going to focus on Beniot over here. Yot means father. Ben, so P is referring to Yot, obviously Yot is masculine. Then in is again, just like here with Nin Novi, Ben Yot, in is first person plural. So our father, right? And in here, B is making sure that this is singular, because if we had nin, first of all, it wouldn't quite work because yot is one of those it's one of those words that whenever it's plural it changes like its spelling and its pronunciation. But if we were to assume that this were a normal word, if we had ne at the beginning here, this would be of our fathers, right? So it would be our fathers, which, wouldn't make sense. So we have P over here, making sure that Yot is singular and that everyone knows that Yot is singular. And then in is our. So our, father, singular. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for taking some time out of your day. God bless.